Despite multiple global headwinds, turbulent energy markets, and a challenging investment landscape, the global cleantech market remained resilient through 2022. This was largely driven by Russia's ongoing war in Ukraine and continued global energy security concerns that led to a slew of recent energy policy announcements and landmark cleantech policies. The Inflation Reduction Act in the United States and REPower EU in the European Union are set to redefine the global green industrial landscape, with the IRA alone costing an estimated $370 billion US. Now, Canada responded appropriately to these global policies with our own announcements of cleantech investment and manufacturing tax credits in the 2023 federal budget, alongside strategic financing commitments estimated to total more than 100 billion Canadian dollars. Additional climate-focused policies should continue to power the industry going forward, including the rapid build-out of local manufacturing for solar and batteries in North America and Europe, support for nuclear energy and niche technologies such as hydrogen and carbon capture, and the speedy deployment of renewables as they become even more cost-effective. Market-ready and emerging clean technologies will also play an important role in Canada's energy transition. But maintaining competitiveness with other countries will be absolutely key as we look to drive clean tech exports and diversify our market exposure. In our Canadian Cleantech Powering Progress report, published on October 19th, we offer additional insights on the challenges and areas of growth for Canadian exporters in this key sector. Globally, clean technologies are expected to attract $1.7 trillion US in investment this year. If countries fully implement their announced climate targets, the International Energy Agency estimates that the market for key mass-manufactured clean energy technologies will triple from current levels, settling at $650 billion US a year by 2030. Last year, clean tech attracted $51 billion US in global venture capital across 2,094 deals. Now, despite lower aggregate investment numbers, energy and power innovators saw record investments driven by enthusiasm around alternative energy sources amidst global energy price volatility. We also saw considerable VC investment in on-road vehicle electrification and EV charging, bolstered by regional regulations prohibiting the sale of new internal combustion engine vehicles. It's no surprise then that transportation and logistics saw the greatest sectoral investments at $13.2 billion US, followed by energy and power at $12.4 billion. In Canada, cleantech VC investment totaled 1.2 billion Canadian dollars last year across 46 deals, quadrupling in value since 2018. Of this, 40 million was invested in seed ventures, 452 million in early stage funding, Series A and B, and 621 million in late stage funding. At the macroeconomic level, the environment and cleantech sector contributed 73 billion Canadian dollars, or about 2.9%, to Canadian GDP in 2021. Meanwhile, Canadian ECT products made up 2.3% of total Canadian exports, amounting to 17.6 billion Canadian dollars, having consistently increased since 2012 to their highest level on record. However, due to a reliance on ECT imports, Canada's ECT trade balance has been in deficit since 2012. Digging deeper, the main reason for Canada's ECT trade deficit is our heavy reliance on clean technology goods imports, including primary and complex manufactured goods. More positively, however, waste and scrap goods and clean electricity have continued to show yearly trade surpluses driven by advances in waste management practices, progress towards circular economy approaches, and the benefits of cross-border grid integration with the US for clean electricity. But despite our strong startup and accelerator ecosystem demonstrated by 12 Canadian companies making the list of top 100 global innovators in 2023, we continue to trail many of our OECD peers. Challenges in the commercialization of research and a persistent startup to scale-up support gap are to blame. A lack of local private risk capital and insufficient levels of private sector R&D spending further exacerbate these challenges. The US, for example, boasts 4x Canada's private sector R&D spending on a per capita basis. Germany 2.7 times, and the broader OECD peer set 2.4 times. Canadian cleantech ventures also struggle to fund large deal sizes, with only 7% of Canadian funding events over the last 5 years totaling more than $50 million US. This is perpetuated by the predominance of small and medium-sized enterprises in the sector, many of which struggle to attract the funds needed to grow and scale. While active integration with the US market positions Canada for future success, competition from the IRA and other global policies is set to impact the Canadian cleantech market significantly, moving skilled talent and capital to more lucrative jurisdictions, boosting Canadian competitiveness, promoting cleantech entrepreneurship, and supporting startups that are experimenting with nascent technologies is absolutely essential. Central to this will be the timely and vital mobilization of private capital for clean technologies. The bottom line? The success of Canada's cleantech sector is critical to achieving our commitments toward the Paris Climate Agreement. As the world aligns to the new realities of today's energy markets, Canada must focus its efforts on helping high-growth, IP-generating companies while providing the appropriate scale-up funding. The rapid growth of clean tech manufacturing across the world is set to create new export markets worth billions of dollars. Now, what piece of that pie Canada will capture will depend not just on our companies and entrepreneurs, but also on how the market supports their growth. This week, a very special thank you to Prerna Sharma, Senior Economist at EDC Economics. As always at EDC Economics, we value your feedback. If you've got ideas for topics that you'd like us to explore, please email us, and we'll do our very best to cover them in future episodes. Until next time, thanks for tuning in.